One of the mistakes non-profit founders and executive directors make is thinking you can raise money once in a while and still get funded. So basically, you don't have a regular fundraising system you follow through with on a daily basis. Once in a while, you go about trying to raise money. Once you have a prospective donor in front of you, that's when you try to raise money. Once you have a grant in front of you, that's when you actually write your grant. That sort of once in a while execution is one of the reasons you are most likely not going to get funded. Because here's the truth: fundraising is a daily game. You need to show up daily if you want to raise money for your organization. Think about it this way: you see Amazon, you see Google, you see Apple, you see the big brands, basically some of the big non-profits, right, out there. On a daily basis, you're somewhat hearing from them, you're seeing their adverts, you're getting some messaging from them. This is not a one-time effort. They do it deliberately because they know for them to raise money, they have to stay top of mind with the people they are looking to get money from. For them to make profits, they have to stay top of mind. That's why, regardless of their size, they still show up every day, even though they have systems that help them show up. And that's what it's supposed to really be for you as a non-profit. You're not supposed to just coast. You're not just supposed to think about how do I raise money daily. You're supposed to actually be showing up on a daily basis, putting out your fundraising outreach content, inviting people to give, setting up systems that attract your prospective donors to you. These things have to happen on a daily basis. But when you relegate them to once in a while, or when you have a prospect in front of you, you're actually shortchanging your organization and you're most likely not going to raise money. So what do you need to do to actually raise money on a daily basis? You need to build what we call a fundraising system. And a fundraising system is not, some IT, some Zephy, or some, software or tool. A fundraising system is actually a combination of the different efforts that help you raise money on a daily basis. So we're talking about having a system that attracts prospective donors to your organization on a daily basis, right? You should have such a system running for you. We're talking about having a system where you create demand for the transformation you need on a daily basis, or the transformation you create on a daily basis. Basically, people who need your transformation are coming to you regularly for that, impact. We're talking about you having a list of your ideal funders, basically the people, the businesses, and the grantors that are meant or that have an already established reason to give to your cause. We're talking about having that list. We're talking about having a definite fundraising process you follow on a daily basis, right? Because fundraising, of course, is not you just reaching out to somebody to say, come donate, and then they donate. It's really about building relationship. It's really about cultivating relationship, building deeper, meaningful relationship with people before making the ask. So there has to be that definite fundraising process you're following. And then, of course, on a daily basis, you are executing those processes, whether it's trying to create awareness, trying to gain interest, trying to deepen a relationship, or trying to make it ask. Some way, somehow, you're doing something towards raising money for your organization on a daily basis. We're talking about having your fundraising scripts, your fundraising messaging, all well scripted out. So that it's not when you come in to come try to raise money, that's when you're trying to think of what to say. You already have the scripts ready and available for you to start raising money, right? We're talking about having a definite schedule. It could be an hour a day, right? Where you say from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm actually executing my fundraising campaign. Or it could be an entire block of time across a week where you're actually showing up to, really execute your fundraising campaign. But there has to be that consistency, because it is consistency that generates the momentum that gets you funded. So you have to be out there every day. And the interesting thing is you don't have to actually be out there every hour. You could pick a specific hour to be out there, and then you're creating maximum result in that hour because you are executing intentionally and strategically to help you raise money for your nonprofit organization. That's what strategic fundraising is all about. It's not all about settling down and waiting for the next grant. It's not all about waiting for the next donor you're going to try to chase. It's not all about waiting for the next event that's coming up. It's about executing your fundraising on a daily basis, being driven by a system, and that's what gets you funded. If you are ready to start raising money, I'll tell you this: you need to build your fundraising system. And I know you may not understand the entire scope of your fundraising system at this time, but we have a fundraising audit form that's going to show you the areas that you have to strengthen so that you can start raising money on a daily basis. If you are ready and you're willing to start taking action, I'll say go in the description, fill out the board or the fundraising audit form so that you can begin to understand the areas you need to strengthen for your fundraising, and so that you can start raising money for your nonprofit. You shouldn't struggle if you do important work. If you have a good fundraising system, you're going to get funded as long as you show up daily to service your system. My name is Rooney. I'm the Nonprofit Strategist. I'll see you tomorrow when we talk more about how you can raise money and how you can transform the lives of the people you serve. I'll see you next time.